All right, I'm going to go ahead and start, and this is going to be really kind of loosey goosey, but I just would like to start with number one, thanking Todd for agreeing to do this with me. Todd is in a networking group that I'm a member of. Todd Howard Ezrin is a third generation Washingtonian, born in Washington, D.C., and grew up in Potomac, Maryland. Todd's interests in architecture and design were sparked from an early age by family trips around the country to Canada and also to Europe. And after graduation from Ithaca College with a degree in business management, he came back to DC and worked in the hospitality industry for several years, where he honed his customer service skills. Keep going. His interest in design never waned, so he returned to school to study interior design at Marymount University. And after stints with a couple of prominent interior design and architecture firms, he founded TOBE DesignGroup, LLC, about 10 years ago. The firm was founded on the principles of collaborative design and strongly values participation by clients, consultants, and contractors. They strive to form lasting trust-based relationships with clients that go to the heart of understanding their goals. As a trusted partner, they work hard to serve their clients' needs and objectives. TOBE DesignGroup's areas of expertise include mid to high-end residential, multifamily residential, and commercial projects. They have completed projects throughout metropolitan DC, Florida, Richmond, Philadelphia, Stamford, New York, Boston, Chicago, Santa Barbara, and Seattle. And Todd is currently embarking on design and build of a custom weekend home for himself and his husband, Mark, in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. Todd loves the impact he has on people's lives by the spaces he designs for where they live, work, and play. And he believes that form and function are not mutually exclusive and that even the most mundane spaces should be well designed. For Todd, interior design is not simply a job, it's a lifestyle in which one expands upon the inspiration found all around us, and he uses that to create something beautiful. And if we're fortunate enough, we might just make a difference in the world. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Todd Howard Ezrin, Interior Designer Extraordinaire, and kind of let him talk a little bit about himself, and then we'll get into some questions and answers.
So I'm going to share my screen. Steve, thank you for putting this together and for inviting me to speak and to meet everybody and answer questions. I really appreciate it. As Steve said in the intro, I was born and raised here. I love Washington, D.C. I'm very proud of the city. Again, as Steve mentioned, we do believe in collaborative design. We really want input from our clients, our vendors, our contractors, our tradespeople, because everybody brings a different expertise to each project. What I love about design is literally no 2 days are the same for me, and every project is very unique. We do specialize in mid to high-end residential projects, both renovation, new construction, commercial projects that range from corporate offices to restaurants. And the bulk of my background is working on multifamily residential projects, which means we design public spaces for condominium and apartment communities, lobbies, fitness centers, party rooms, pool decks, whatever amenities. We have one in Baltimore where there's going to be a yoga studio, a kids playroom, there's a pet spa, and a large beach bar. There's definitely a process that we try to follow that is pretty similar throughout every project. So the first, we'll focus on this design process here. We really start with the programming phase, and that's what I like to call the discovery phase, if you think of it like similar to a lawsuit, where we really gather all the background information. We get a lot of analysis and intelligence, so to speak, from the client, and we really want to understand the parameters, the goals, the budget, and all the scope of work. And once we have all that information armed, we start the design process, which the first phase is schematic design. And that's more of a high level phase where we come up with a concept, we come up with ideas for furniture, lighting, space planning, whatever. Nothing set in stone, nothing set in concrete. We might show you different color palettes to choose from. We want to make sure we're going down the right path, that we get buy-in from the client before we fully develop a design concept. But we take the information and approval from the schematic design and we move to the next phase of design development. And that's where we really hone in on the very specifics of each project. And it doesn't matter whether it's just decorating a living room or, redesigning a whole house or a corporate office or whatever the project scope is. We really follow the same process. And then from design development, hopefully the client really approves largely almost everything we've shown them. And if whatever level of documentation we do, that's the next phase, is construction documentation. We put all the information together, we get bids, we price everything out, and then we get the approval process and we move forward. And we can work with a general contractor who can subcontract all the work. On smaller projects, we have electricians, painters, wall covering installers. We have handymen, basically all the trades that we need to manage the project if we can do it ourselves. And we pride ourselves on holding the client's hand from start to finish. So we don't walk away at any point. We're there to make sure everything is done according to the design intent. And I like to tell clients that we'll take care of you as if you're my own parents, until someone once asked me if I liked my parents, which I thought, okay, that is a fair question.
He does.
I do. Since I talk to him almost every day, I do. So that's in a nutshell, basically the design process. And then TOBE Design Group has grown over the years. I'm the principal designer. Colin is our senior designer. Anne is our junior designer. Marcia is our office administrator, and Sharon is our creative director. And Sharon handles all our social media marketing and tracks every single order that we place with every manufacturer for furniture. So not only do we do design consultation, but we also procure art, furniture, fabrics, art, accessories, decorative lighting, plumbing fixtures, wall covering, recessed lighting, even the light switches if you need us to. We can get everything for the project and help manage the whole process. And we have a little studio in downtown Bethesda. We're about 3 blocks west of the Bethesda Metro Station.
Which is where you're coming from right now, correct?
I am. So I'm in our resource library. We keep thousands of fabrics and samples here so that we don't have to go anywhere. We can just source it all from our library. And actually, this is a little glimpse into our office. So you can see I am a very quirky person. I love Legos. There are Legos everywhere. My mother's dollhouse is actually in our office, and that was not a childhood dollhouse. It was an adult project dollhouse, but it's about as old as I am and very detailed inside. And then this picture here just gives you our working area. And this is what our resource library looks like. So this is where I'm coming to you from. You can see we're pretty well stocked. And then I just thought these are some recent projects that we finished. So this is a Center Hall Colonial in Chevy Chase. And we've worked on various rooms throughout the house. The dining room is one of my favorite projects. The client wanted a very minimalistic dining room, very quiet, but yet some punches of color. So the walls and the upholstery is very monochromatic, and you can see that we went bold on the ceiling, and they had built-in 2 niches with corner cabinets, and we used the same color on the in the back of the cabinet. And on the far right, this is actually a custom credenza that we designed for the project. So most cabinets are 18 to 20 inches deep, and we just didn't have the space for that. So we had this credenza made by a local mill worker, and we sourced the legs actually from a vendor on Etsy. They came from Hong Kong. They were really rather fun and actually rather inexpensive, believe it or not. So we try to get as creative as possible, but we really literally needed a cabinet that was 2 inches narrower than your standard cabinet to make it really work. And this is the same house. This is the living room across the across the foyer. And you can see we went from one side being very calm and quiet and serene to lots of color, and the client has a lot of fun art and sculptures. So we really built this room around that. She wanted a game table to play mahjong, so we put a game table in the corner, and we just had a lot of fun with the living room. And so you can see we carried some of the colors through, but we really punched it up here. And now we're going to be working on the kitchen. So she's actually a professional caterer, so we're really excited to redesign her kitchen. This is another recent project we finished. It's a split level, mid-century modern home in also not far from downtown Bethesda, and we really wanted to take it back to its roots. So we replaced the railings in the foyer with the metal and aircraft cable wire, a nice runner up the stairs. We refinished all the wood floors throughout. Really some really fun light fixtures, and then she really wanted to do something different around the fireplace. So we actually replaced the wood burning fireplace with a gas insert. And we had this custom panel made with shelves that we got, brackets and shelves from a company called Rejuvenation, which is part of the Williams-Sonoma group. And just some fun art, and really just changed the look of the house. We also worked on the kitchen and 2 bathrooms. So this is the kitchen on the left, and you can see we actually did 2 different finishes. We did a deep teal color on the base cabinets and a dark gray on the upper cabinets. And in this case, we also used 2 different backsplashes. There's a herringbone tile on the left, and it's a smoked mirrored backsplash tile on the right. We just had a lot of fun with this kitchen. And we found some interesting things, like we captured space in the bulkhead above this area where was just a void. So we were able to create more storage in this small cabinet for kitchen for things that, they don't use on the everyday basis and can keep them out of the way. And then they had a very tight bathroom that we worked on. This is the master bathroom. So we did a custom floating vanity out of laminate with a nice quartz countertop and we took out the pink Pepto-Bismol pink tub that used to be in there. And we did a beautiful kitchen, walk-in shower with a big niche to hold lots of things, including some ceramic animals, because who doesn't need ceramic animals in their shower?
Of course.
And then the next few slides I'm just going to show you are for a project we're working on. It's actually a condo here in Chevy Chase. And we do these really nice renderings to show clients of what their space is going to look like. So this really helps to sell the project and to seal the deal, so to speak. And this condo, the client needed lots of storage, and custom cabinets really, while they can be pricey, they really are effective in maximizing use of space. So they have a big bourbon collection. So we created the storage down below, and they're going to be able to put lots of bourbon bottles on these shelves above. And these cabinets on the far left and far right are actually covering up the radiators. So it makes it look much nicer, and then capturing a little shallow storage shelving space on the right. This is going to be her home office with a desk and cabinets on the far left and right. And then we're going to put barn doors on there so that she can just, if she's not neat, she can just close it up and nobody will see inside it. So there's a picture of the barn doors that'll be on the space. We're going to be painting the kitchen cabinets. So, she doesn't really have in the budget to replace them. And they're just simple slab doors. So painted cabinets are really in fashion right now in lots of colors. So we're going to again do the 2-tone, a lighter shade on the upper cabinets and darker gray taupe on the lower cabinets.
Let me ask you, when has that become a thing, the painted cabinets?
It's been a thing for a few years now, but I'm seeing much more a painted finish than stain on cabinets.
And what kind of colors are you being used? I mean, clearly you had the blues and the grays.
Well, white still is very popular. I'm bored with white kitchens. So we're getting people to go out of their comfort zone. Green cabinets are actually very in fashion right now for 2021. It is one of the more popular green colors, like dark green, like an emerald green. We're working on a kitchen where we're doing white cabinets around the perimeter, and the island's going to be blue. And actually the lower cabinets are all going to be a deep blue. So that's very popular. So black cabinets can be really cool.
So with the blue island, what kind of material then will you use for a countertop?
in this particular kitchen here in Bethesda, the client, we're doing a quartz countertop on the perimeter, but she's a baker, and she wanted a butcher block countertop. So we sourced a beautiful butcher block countertop out of with a company out of Pennsylvania. And so that's what we're doing on this particular one.
On the perimeter, white?
It's a white quartz with some veining in it, but most people don't want heavily veined and heavily patterned granite or quartzes anymore. It's more the minimalistic look.
Okay.
Where I've seen red kitchens, just having fun with it. I think we're going to be starting a kitchen and also here in Bethesda. The client is really interested in retro look, and it might be a very, aqua and white kitchen, or aqua and a natural wood tone.
Okay.
So
I just want to add, if I can, Todd, that Benjamin Moore's color of the year is am I pronouncing it right? Asian teal?
Asian teal.
Yeah, which looks very similar to the aqua or teal used in the previous kitchen renovation that Todd showed.
Yeah, nice.
If you could go back a page or two.
Yeah, it's very similar to that color.
I see. Interesting.
And then it's a tiny bathroom in the master bedroom, but we're updating it to make it, she wants a little bit of a beach vibe, but with a modern flair. So this tile here is actually a wood look porcelain tile that we're putting on the wall. They're planks, and we're going to run them vertically. So it's just bringing in a little bit more of a natural element. And that's a big theme right now, is bringing nature inside. There's a whole movement, and the word escapes me what it's called all of a sudden, but it's bringing elements of nature inside, whether it's wood tones or just textures or things. It's becoming more and more important to our health and well-being. And then this is actually a commercial project. It's a co-op building, actually not too far from Maura's home. It's called Town Square Towers. It's on 7th Street. And anybody who's seen this building knows that it's in sore need of a renovation. It's very tired, but they have an enormous lobby. And this was just a fun way doing, instead of inverting the black and white drawings, these are sketches that our junior designer did, showing how we're going to treat the mailboxes and our concept for the lobby and around the elevator cabs and even the residential corridors. And this is a really big building. It's about 2 blocks long. So it's going to be lots and lots of carpet in the hallways. And this, I think it's maybe this last slide. It's a home in Potomac, and this is the master bedroom. And the client really, right now, it's a vanilla looking master bedroom, and she really wanted to change the look of it and add architectural elements to it. So we're going to be adding a gas fireplace, and then which is going to be, it changed a little bit. It's going to be one of those more elongated gas fireplaces, skinnier and long and narrow. But then we're adding some shelving around the sides. So we're transitioning from the contemporary fireplace to the more traditional panel molding that we're going to be adding, and just gives a really nice elegance to the bedroom and carrying it through to the adjoining sitting room. And this is a corporate project we're working on in Rockville. It's in a warehouse office, and they leased an additional space. And this is just a test fit to show them how to furnish the space, to adding an additional bathroom. I wanted to make sure the bathrooms had sort of some privacy. So this way, you don't exactly walk right out of there. They wanted a lactation room for mothers, or even just a quiet sitting room. So we added that. And they wanted to have a game table because they're an IT company. So they wanted something fun. And I think that is the end of my presentation for this part.
That's great, Todd. I think you've given us a lot of meat here that we can actually talk about. I thought maybe I actually do have a couple of photos that Linda has sent in, and I at some point in time want to get to that. But I'm sure some folks have different questions, so I thought we might start off with a little bit of kind of Q&A maybe, and sort of see where that all goes. And I'm gonna, yeah. So if you have a question that you'd like to ask Todd, just raise your hand and we'll kind of try and do these one at a time. And Nini and Jamal and Melissa, we can't see you raising your hands. And Linda, we'll get to you. So Joe, I actually can see your hands. So what is your burning question?
I was going to ask Todd what was the most extravagant or unusual project you've done residentially?
Well, so the most extravagant project is the house we're working on right now in Calorama. It's a single family home. They live in a townhome around the corner from where they moved to. They've got 3 young boys, and we had a lot of fun because the garage there's a narrow alley to the garage between the 2 houses. I mean, there's probably barely 10 feet between the 2 houses. So we turned the garage into a sensory play gym for the 3 young boys. And so I actually took them over to a client. We have a client who has a pediatric therapy office in Spring Valley. And I saw the sensory gym there and I thought this would be a lot of fun just to have for the 3 boys. So we did that. And then on the 3rd floor, there's a storage room that has these nooks that, you know, you could throw luggage and stuff into, but we turned them into little hideaways for the boys. So we had big floor pillows made to fit cut snug in each one. We put a really fun wall covering in them. And then I found a sconce it's just a simple round sconce, but it's a plaster finish and you paint it whatever color you want. So we picked a fun color to paint in each one and illuminated. And then outside those nooks, there's a little window seat that we created. And we put a seat cushion and some pillows and a adjustable lamp so that a kid, could sit and read. So that's a lot of fun. I had a client downtown a few years ago that wanted some really unique pillows. And I think we had 2 floor pillows. Each one cost about $750. I've never made a pillow that expensive before, and I haven't done one since. But they spent about $4,500 on throw pillows.
And I see Maura is she's all for that. So Eric, you got to be careful in this new house in Palisades. Maura's got her hand up, so let's go ahead to her question.
Thanks, Steve. So Todd, do you have experiences with clients who come to you and just really don't know what they want, because you've got these beautiful designs and I'm sure some come to you with some concepts, but if you've got someone who's coming to you with really no idea, do you give them some guidance on how to?
We help the client figure out what they want. So, and sometimes it's just as important for us to know what you don't like and why you don't like it. I had a client years ago who she said she didn't really know what she liked, but she knew what she didn't like. And so that really helped us narrow it down. And then we got to the point where she just let me go make the decisions because that could be enough. So, which, that doesn't happen very often, but certainly nice and flattering. So yeah,
also kind of a real estate principle too. It's to identify what you don't like or where you don't want to be is a great thing to know. And so, you like blue, you don't like red. I mean, that kind of, that's simple, but it helps you make decisions on where to go with styles and colors and things too.
And then if somebody says to me, well, I don't like blue, I said, well, does that mean all blues or different shades of blue? Because, you say you don't like yellow. Well, I don't like bright yellows, but I love like a mustard yellow. That's very different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your question, Maura, is on point with my social media post today, actually. So if you follow us, you could see, I don't want to give it away. Maybe we'll get a few more followers out of it.
Hint, hint, go find us on Instagram and Facebook.
Go ahead and put that information in the chat, and then if people if people want to do that, then they can get their information there. So that's a good thing to do. Who else has a question? Anita, do you have a question, a design question? No, just kind of listening, keeping the ears open for future sort of stuff. I know Melissa has questions.
I actually don't, because I am keeping ears open.
Okay.
I did have a question about what the kind of popular colors are right now, but you already started, folks already started answering that.
That depends on what source you go to. So as Sharon said, Benjamin Moore is Asian blue. Sherwin-Williams is urban bronze. There's actually a color marketing group, and I think they're based here in Alexandria, and they forecast colors out years in advance.
Wow.
There's a color marketing council. So there's a lot of science to colors.
So we see so much gray currently in real estate. I mean, gray is the nice, kind of light grays show off everything very well. Art, furniture, rugs. I mean, you can pretty much blend anything with gray.
So I think gray is a great neutral. Some people think it's getting tired and should be on its way out. I don't happen to think so. One of my favorite colors, though, is Sherwin-Williams Colonnade Gray, because it's a grayish. When you need it to go real gray, it can go gray. When you need it to go with some more brown tones, it becomes a little more, it adapts. Beige is kind of making its way back. And I'll tell you, brass is back, but not bright brass, satin brass, brass mixed with other finishes like black or white. I mean, even if you just look online at West Elm and CB2 and look at their light fixtures, it's hard not to find a light fixture that's not a shade of brass with either by itself or something else mixed in.
So is brass kind of heading, are they using the term gold then to kind of disguise brass?
No, it's still brass, but just satin brass or antique brass.
Okay. All right. Nini, what's your question?
Hi, everyone. I do have a question. My question is about open shelving in kitchens. Are they still a practical option? And for Todd, are you seeing a lot more open shelving replacing cabinets, top cabinets in kitchens?
Open shelving is becoming a more popular thing. However, you have to be very neat. If you don't keep, if an open concept house, or, if you don't stack your dishes just right, then I would never suggest to do an open concept shelving. We actually, a client who has a house, a small house with a very tiny kitchen in Cheverly, Maryland, she really wanted more open shelving above, and I reduced the amount of open shelving. I said, there's just no way it's going to give you the right amount of storage. I love the look. It looks great in magazines, but I think for most people, even myself included, it's not very practical. What we are seeing more in kitchens as a trend is less of door cabinets on base cabinets with shelves in them and more drawers. Drawers are so much more practical than base cabinets because you can pull everything, you can pull the drawer out and lift it up instead of having to rifle through the shelves. Another thing that's really, if you have the space, and it's a little bit of an upgrade, a microwave drawer is so much nicer than having a microwave oven. Because if you think about it, you're pulling a hot thing out and down as opposed to out and up. And Sharp, believe it or not, Sharp is the gold standard for microwave drawers. They make them for almost everybody.
Wow. When you say make them for everybody, so KitchenAid, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, they're Sharp is making.
I don't know exactly which manufacturers, but some, yes, they're slapping their label on it. But
can everybody see my screen here? Linda, are you on?
I am.
I have your 3 photos, and so I'm going to kind of show people the first one here, and then I'm going to flip to the middle one here. This is all the same room, correct?
Right, and it's very small. Yeah.
Okay, and
it's
then
the end part of the kitchen.
So this is kind of this is the opposite direction, but of the same room.
Right.
Okay, thank you for sharing these with us. Todd, and so Linda, what's your question? I guess number one, what would you like?
I might be Steve's only customer who moved next door to herself, but I bought the house next door because I'd had it with dealing with contractors, and a lot of improvements had been made to virtually the same house next door to me. So Steve helped me achieve that goal. But other people have had little kids and they use this as a play area. This is like a nothing space that I just threw stuff in when I moved in because I don't know what to do with it. I am not a fan
You
of
have French
eating in
doors
the
that do
kitchen.
go out to your patio, right?
Yes, yes. And there's a tremendous amount of light, which is lovely. I did try an antique table that I had, and I tried a smaller table. I just don't like to eat in the kitchen because I'm not a neat person in the kitchen. So I don't want to look at the mess I just made cooking. So right now it's a chair, a couple antiques, and a TV set, all of which really don't belong there. And you know, I want a fresh start, but I don't actually know what to do, what to use the space for.
Okay, Todd. So if you were gonna, and no one's gonna take offense by any suggestions or anything. So Todd, if you were gonna walk into this and you could just sort of, design what you would do, where would you start?
You might want to consider some different lighting that maybe is a little brighter and a little more dynamic, has a little more style to
Yeah,
it.
yeah, these are quite old. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Todd, where would you source something like that and not breaking the budget?
If you just look online, like Lamps Plus or build.com, have a lot of
Build.com?
build.com.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a lot of great lighting. I could see building on your chair in the corner by maybe adding a reading lamp and an ottoman and making it, if it's not a place you want to, with the light, it might be cozy to curl up and read a book.
Todd, would you
Right.
go with the same kind of
And I have better chairs that are an option, but that's currently the chair. But yes, no, that's a good idea.
And then maybe
So you would go for a more dramatic light, larger?
Yeah, I think so. At least the one over the by the chair, and maybe something
Okay.
a little simpler so they're not competing in the kitchen. Unless the kitchen recess lighting is adequate enough, maybe you don't even need a pendant in the kitchen.
No, you do.
Okay.
You definitely need more light. Yeah.
Some soft window treatments would be nice, whether they're Roman shades or stationary panels on the door. Just drapery softens a room a little bit. I might consider taking up some of the rugs that are covering up your beautiful wood floors.
Oh yeah, they're just there to protect the floor. Actually.
Yeah.
From the dog. They're temporary.
And then maybe, instead of having the trunk and the antique cabinet side by side, just
Right.
one piece.
And Linda has one.
Right. Actually, I'd like to lose both.
Yeah.
Both are really history. Yeah.
Yeah. So you could put, a console table or a chest or something over there in place of it.
Okay.
Maybe a nice piece of art above it or a mirror.
Yeah, I have a lot of art. I just haven't wanted to commit to art when I don't know what I'm doing, with the space.
Todd, I have a question about the bar stools.
Mhm.
Those are metal. She has a lot of what seems to be wood and wicker sort of stuff. Would
Yeah.
you try and unify a design that way then?
Yeah, I might look for a counter stool that was more in keeping. Those look very contemporary compared to, the other things in the room. I don't know what your design aesthetic is, but
It's mixed. It's pretty eclectic.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you could probably
That's
find
a good point.
a transitional style bar stool that would be, complement both, somewhat
Okay.
contemporary and traditional elements.
Linda has some really
Right.
interesting antiques
Mhm.
and good wood kind of stuff. I mean, look at this refrigerator here. I mean, that's a vintage piece right there.
Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun. You could take a cabinet if you wanted something like that to look a little more contemporary. You could paint that. You could take that to a furniture refinisher and change the
Because
whole
it's
look
an
of it.
unfortunate stain. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Steve is actually jealous. I have some antique spool cabinets. that
They're
he's jealous
fabulous.
of.
Oh my God, they're fabulous. They're fabulous.
Well, that's helpful. It's not a big space, but I just
Yeah,
want to make the most out of it.
A cozy
And
reading
I
corner
know
could be
it
nice.
needs lots of help. That's why I dared
And-
to send pictures. But Steve asked for pictures.
And
right?
then get a nice
Yeah.
big dog, bed so that while you're curling up reading, you can have the dog curled up next to you.
Right. Oh, I have plenty of dog beds. Yeah, thank you. Okay, that's really
Thank you
helpful.
so much,
Thank you
Linda,
very
for the
much.
photos. It was really, really neat. Maura, you have your hand up again.
Eric has a question.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So jumping back in the conversation just a minute, I know we talked a lot about colors that are popular in paints, but I've also heard there's sort of a comeback now with wallpapers and sort of interesting designs. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit? And,
Oh my God.
What sort of
I
trending?
love wall covering. Love, love, love. So I hate accent walls of paint. I think that's just a really bad idea. But if you want to do an accent wall, then do a texture. If you do a wall covering. So there are so many fun wall coverings. You can even get temporary wall coverings that are like peel and stick. Some of them are fabulous. But
So Todd, what do you, when you talk about wall coverings, what are you? What
hold on
coverings
one
are you
second.
talking about?
Uh-oh.
I think we got him excited.
Can you all see this?
Yeah, kind of. Oh
This
yeah.
is
It's
a
from
vinyl wall
Instagram.
covering. I just finished a powder room in this color.
We just looked at it.
Yeah. And
Gorgeous.
we did a powder room. I've used it on the back wall of a bookcase. It's so fun just to do that, to zhuzh up a bookcase, literally. I do that all the time.
Is that a leather look?
It's a crocodile.
Gator skin.
It's gorgeous.
Hey,
Look at
yeah,
it on
yeah.
Instagram. It's amazing. I
Yeah.
already want it.
Wait, I had another one.
Like legit. I want it.
Check out this.
Oh.
I can't tell what it is.
The
Like
Jackson Pollock.
That's the overall pattern.
Oh,
Todd, describe it for everybody. It's hard to see on camera.
I don't really know how to describe it. It's just beautiful. Let's just leave it at that.
Abstract,
It
artistic.
is. It's very abstract and it comes in
Okay.
some really fun
Flavor
colors.
Jackson.
Are there colors in it?
This is basically, it's kind of, this one is sort of a champagne color and like a dark gray.
Okay.
It comes in other colors, but wall covering is huge.
In wall coverings, what do you feel about geometrics as opposed to what you've shown us there?
It's funny you bring that up, Joe, because that house in Colorama, the client, the husband does the laundry and he's like, if I'm going to be in the laundry room, I don't want to just have 4 vanilla walls. So we did a geometric wall covering in there. So, yeah. So as I don't think rooms should be mundane. I don't think a laundry room should be boring, a closet. We had a client in downtown in Penn Quarter and she wanted to open her closet doors and they were pink inside. And it's really fun to have what they call a door jam switch so that when you open the closet door, the lights comes on automatically. And so even the small spaces should have fun.
I just redid my front hall closet and my laundry closet, which is in a powder room. And when I went to the paint store, I was selecting and the guy said, what's it for? And I said, it's for a closet. And I basically picked a gloss, fairly dark gray for the walls. And I love the effect because you know how in a closet, if it's white and you scrape it, you get black marks and all that kind of stuff. And I'm really happy the way it turned out.
And don't be afraid of dark colors. Lighting is really key in an environment. So people spend tons of money on furniture, appliances, whatever, and you have beautiful art and then you don't like the space and it falls flat. So lighting is very key to every space. Years ago, we had a client in McLean and it was a small dining room and I changed the light fixture of the dining table and I added 8 recessed lights around the perimeter of the room. And we painted the walls like a dark green. And they were afraid it was going to be closed in and dark. But by the time it was illuminated and you put the lights on dimmers, so lighting like that should be on dimmers, the room was so bright. But you keep the ceiling was white, the floors were lighter, the walls were dark, and it was a beautiful effect. I like dark powder rooms. Bathrooms, no, I think they should stay lighter because that's where you get dressed. You need to see, put makeup on, brush your teeth. You know, you don't really want to do a dark bathroom, but powder rooms, why not?
Jamal, oh, Eileen, you have a question.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I was trying to figure out how to write more on Eric to say, can I ask a question on behalf of all of us? Because they and we are going to be furnishing decks. And do you have an opinion on the materials for deck furniture?
Not necessarily. I mean, we're using a lot of the faux wicker look today. It's a composite material. There's a lot of great outdoor fabrics. I think, you know, have fun. I think you can go bright and fun on outdoor spaces. It depends how you're using it. I think wrought iron, I don't use a lot. I like cleaner lines, teak. I like the, it's sort of what they call a sling material as opposed to having a cushion. It's just easier to clean. Aluminum is nice.
And you did say you like teak.
I do, yeah.
Cool, thanks.
Sure. A hot trend right now, wicker is back big time. Wicker and rattan. You're seeing a lot of that mixed in with black finishes.
My message, Congressman Jordan, is to get as many people vaccinated as quickly as
Get vaccinated as quickly as possible. Yes, indeed. I don't know where Dr. Fauci came from, but he was weighing in, so that's all good. Amy sees a lot of apartments and things as people are moving and transiting from one space to another.
I mean, definitely the storage wherever you can get it. I mean, I love putting the cabinets up above, you know, for your more seasonal items and just things that you don't touch a whole lot. Toe kick storage, I've seen a lot of going in.
What kind of storage?
Too. So like just for like the really weird.
She said in the toe kick, you can hide things in the toe kick, like step stools in case you have tall cabinets. You can recess a step stool in toe kicks. You know, another thing we love to do is, speaking of toe kicks, is I love illuminating toe kicks. So we finished a bathroom in a condo in Leisure World in Silver Spring, and in the master bathroom, we literally put a under cabinet lighting in the toe kick. And it's a safety thing too. It's an older couple and they can leave it on as a night light at night. And it's not that bright, so it doesn't illuminate the room. And it's fun to do in a kitchen, especially,
Todd,
you know,
just so everybody knows, describe what a toe kick is.
A toe kick is really where your toes go when you're standing at the cabinet, at the bottom of the cabinet.
At the bottom of the cabinet. Okay.
You usually have like about a 3-inch recessed toe kick.
I mean, you can't put a whole lot in there, but if you do have like not a standing space for like your boards or cookie sheets or something, it's a good place for things just to lay underneath that are flat and not big and bulky, but still accessible. If you have that space and you don't have like your gas or whatever, your water lines running through it, but and that's like more of a small space living thing, I think, too, just where you need to have every little bit of space counts in something. But I mean, at least in larger spaces now, of course, like outdoor spaces, you know, everybody's extending into the outside. And like you said, with bringing the natural elements in, but yeah, just making the most of your space.
I don't know if anyone's in tune to what's happening, but this pandemic has caused a huge global supply chain strain. So if you were trying to renovate a kitchen right now, you're not going to get appliances for 6 months at least. And it doesn't matter. I see someone crying over there. We have been waiting, as Sharon well knows, because she checks on our orders. We've been waiting for a bed and a chest for one client for the better part of a year. We are waiting for a sectional for a client since November. We had a table picked up in February from North Carolina, and it took a month and a half to bring it up to Maryland. And there aren't enough containers to bring things over from Asia, and having a ship literally stuck in the Suez Canal did not help anything. I mean, as if we already weren't having a problem, but upholstery companies can't get foam. Foam distributors, suppliers are rationing foam to their clients. So it's even the raw materials just to make the goods. It's just, while it's great that the economy, they're booming, it's really caused a complete global supply chain issue. So if anyone's doing a kitchen renovation, you just have to be patient and be able to store the appliances, because you want to take them when you can get them, because if you can get them, you want them.
What's so interesting is that we're so interconnected with the rest of the world, and you think that just simply designing a space in your home shouldn't be that difficult. Clearly, having expertise and the understanding of how to pull it all together is very important. Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to ask? This is your opportunity. Linda, did you have anything else you wanted to?
I do have one more question. I have a extremely slippery bathroom floor. The 6x6 tiles or 4x4, treacherous. And again, given my problem with every contractor I've hired, as opposed to taking it all up, is it possible to tile over it and adjust the entrance in some way?
It is possible. It depends what kind of tile you have down. You need to be careful on the undercut of your door into the bathroom. Right. In some cases, that can be shaved down if it's a wood door. And we actually just did that in the house in Calorama. The client, we didn't want to rip up the tile. And you can get a threshold with a bevel on just one side, so that it meets the height of the tile on the other side when you put it on top of it. But you do need a good qualified contractor to do it.
Yeah. But not one with a jackhammer or a sledgehammer.
No, we didn't want to. We didn't want to. We didn't want to do that. We didn't want to, because the issue was, if we started jackhammering the tile out, we weren't taking out the shower, we weren't taking out the vanity, and you risk jackhammering it all out. Actually, that project we're working on in Town Square Towers, they have a terrazzo floor throughout the whole lobby, and we are not jackhammering it out. We are going to be tiling on top of it.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
It would be way too costly and interrupt people's lives to jackhammer that amount of terrazzo out of that lobby.
Good.
Well, Todd, I want to thank you very much for sharing your expertise. I think we've all learned something and have enjoyed everything that you've shared with us.
Thank you.
And thank you all for showing up this afternoon.